Hey loves, welcome to my channel, Love Nell B. I am so happy to have you here. In today's video, we are going to be doing Transparency Tuesday. So I asked you guys on my IG any topics that you guys want me to discuss, and you guys were very responsive. And so tonight's video, we are going to be talking about singleness. I'm basically going to take that topic and we are going to have some real talk, real dialogue, and real conversation, because I believe that's needed a little bit. So I would say that I am like a singleness expert because I spent my entire adulthood single. Yeah, so as you guys know, I'm recently been taken off the market, you know, my little boo, but that's okay because I understand the singleness journey. I understand the ups and downs. I understand the frustrations, all that kind of stuff. So tonight we are going to be talking about that, and I'm gonna provide you guys with some tips to kind of navigate your singleness and really just stick with it. Singleness was probably the most repeated topic, so I know that you guys will really want to talk about it. So if you see me looking off, I'm looking at my notes to just make sure I give you guys all the information. And if you are ready for Transparency Tuesday, then continue watching. Oh, listen sis, you done stayed this long, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, join the Love Nell B family, hit that bell button so that you know when videos go up, and please make sure that you connect with me on all social medias. Everything will be linked down below. And I think that's it. Let's get into it. All right guys, so I'm gonna walk you guys through my singleness journey. So like I said before, I've basically been single my entire life. My first relationship was sophomore, maybe junior year of high school, and that was a mess. So there's that. So after that, you know, I went off to college, and I really just I struggled with very low self-esteem in college, and just really didn't believe in myself. And I always say, and I feel like men can smell that. Other people can smell it, but I know for sure men can tell when a woman lacks that confidence. I honestly cannot say why I stayed single in college. I always tried to say, you know, I'm focused on my career, and I'm focused, well, not career, but creating a career, and I'm focused on, you know, the books. I'm married to my books, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But that was just a cover up for me feeling like, you know, I wasn't good enough to be in a relationship, cover up that I couldn't get a man or whatever the case may be. And it was kind of a struggle because a lot of my friends, you know, they were in relationships and they were dating, and, you know, they had this guy talking to them and that, you know, this and that. And I really didn't. And I'm not going to say that I just went completely through college without talking to anyone or had anyone interested, because that would be a lie. But it just, it was just interesting. It was interesting. And so, I really struggled with being single. And I knew that God had called me to be single for that period. I needed to be able to grow my confidence and kind of develop a little bit more. But I was just boy crazy. And I just wanted to be with someone. But, you know, looking back at that time and knowing what I know now and being in therapy, I was just in a space where I was just trying to fill a void. You know, I had these issues going on, and I was just trying to get away from the issues by having a boyfriend or having a man in my life. But we thank God for his protection, okay? So, you know, it was here and there how I kind of dated in college a little bit. But yeah, it was a struggle, guys. I was really trying to, you know, fill a void and really trying to just hide from, you know, my own issues and things I needed to take care of to make sure that I, you know, was good. So that would be like my first thing. Like, really, you know, have a conversation with yourself and see, are you really like ready for a relationship? You really ready to date? You really ready to put yourself out there? Or are you just trying to use that to fill a void? Because there is a major difference. And that void will not be filled until you do the work. So I think that's kind of the reason why I stayed single for so long. And I think God knew that. And I didn't know it. So I didn't know what, God had planned for me. So I was just looking at it as frustration, looking at my friends, looking at, this and that and different people dating and they're in love and they're this, and that's what I craved. But I need to give that to myself first. And that was one thing that I was lacking in college, was that self-love component. I was not feeding myself love at all. So I think, first of all, I thank God. But I just think that, God was just protecting me from myself. And though it was hard, it was extremely difficult because I wanted a man, y'all. I felt guilty for wanting a man, but at the same time, I realized like it's okay, to want that companionship. But I always, tell people we got to be in a healthy space, right? We don't have to be perfect because you're always going to be working on yourself. So I definitely don't believe in that notion of I need to be here before love happens. Love came in my life and I was a complete mess, okay? So you're always going to be working on yourself and evolving. But I do believe you need to be in a healthy space, before just really putting yourself out there for dating. And I know I wasn't there in college. So that is really that for college. I dated my books and I stayed married to those, and it got me through. So yeah. All right, guys. So once I got out of college, the dating scene and my dating journey did not improve. I guess. I don't know. I think what happened was my mindset was just so bad about dating, so bad about men. I think I was just so tired and I didn't know how to date correctly. I think what was happening for me, and something that I had to unlearn, right? I was trying to marry every man I met. Y'all, the struggle, I really was. I'm not even gonna lie to you. We in transparency moment. I was literally trying to marry every man I met, make every man I met a husband. And it was just like, girl, like, what are you doing? That's how you end up with a broken heart. There was no levels to my dating. It was, you my husband or you're not. And it's like, that's not the case. Like, that's just not going to be the case. Even as a Christian woman, that's just not going to be the case, right? So my mindset was just, it was bad. Aside from trying to husband every man, I just had a negative mindset about men. Men ain't this, men ain't that. Men don't want a thick woman. Men don't want a black woman. Men don't want a, just all these different things. And I was like, eventually, I think I just got to my breaking point. I think that's what it was. I think I got to my breaking point and I was like, girl, you're not going to have a good experience if you were always putting it out there that you're not going to have a good experience, right? Because then when you meet someone and you don't have a good experience with them, and we've all been through that, then that further proves your thoughts, right? So I really had to do a mindset change about dating, and it sounds weird, but I definitely tell people this all the time. Your mindset about dating matters. It matters. So this is gonna sound crazy, but I used to write affirmations about dating. I did. I would write, I am going to have good experiences with men. I am going to have a positive dating life. I'm going to have a good dating life. Not every man is for me, but there is one for me, right? So things like that, things to affirm myself, right? I am confident. I bring things to the table. I am worthy of love. I am deserving of, good things and a good man. So things like that to really change my mindset. I don't know what happened, but once that I did that, it was like a switch. I stopped trying to husband every man. Okay, please stop trying to husband every man. All right. And I just took the time to get to know them. Right. I took the time to get to know the person, the guy I was sitting across the table with. And if I didn't like them, okay. And if I did, let's see what happens, you know? So, I really decided to create a positive dating experience, even when there were some like negatives in there, because there were some negatives. But I decided to create an experience that I wanted to have. And I think that's just very important, right? I let go and really took off all this pressure to find the one, to be the one, to be this, to be that, and really just decided to be me. And who wants me is gonna want me, boo, period. Okay? So I would definitely, and I tell women on this all the time, you've got to let go of what society tells you. Society will have you like running amok, okay? Let go, okay? And just enjoy yourself, because dating should be fun. I firmly believe that dating should be fun. It gets tiring, it does. So, you know, I was trying to exit the game real quick, but I did want to have a dating life so I can at least say, you know, this is what I want, this is what I don't want, this is what I like. I can say I have the chance to get to know other people and have that fun experience. Now I'm ready to be in this relationship or settle down. Dating is just really gathering data, okay? It's gathering data to see if you really want to be with that person, right? That's all it is. Quit trying to husband him. Quit trying to be the one for him. Quit trying to, you know, do X, Y, and Z, and enjoy the experience. Enjoy the moment. So yeah, that's that part, you guys. And that's on that. So I would say my dating journey really took full effect 2020, January 2020. I remember, and that I would say my dating journey really popped off then, because that's when my mindset started to change. I spent a long time, woe is me, nobody's gonna want me, blah blah blah. I was like, girl, you was fine, you working out, you was getting it together, you getting a grad school, you got a job, all these different, like, hype yourself up and let yourself be humble. Hype yourself up though, and let yourself know that you it, right? Get out of this pity and woe is me and all that kind of stuff, and get to creating the life that you want and a dating life that you want. And that's what I did. So 2020, last year, January 2020, it's crazy how things just move so fast. But I remember the dude that I went out on a date with, and that just started it. That really started things for me. So went out on a date with him. I think I had a couple of more dates in between, and then I really put myself out there, and I joined there was a singles group on Facebook. Shout out to the Houston BSMD. I don't know the acronym, but they know who they are. I joined that group, and I really started putting myself out there even more. Baby, all of a sudden, October, your girl was taken. Okay. Again, but it was a change of my mindset, right? I had to change the way that I thought about dating and how I looked at myself, you know, as I was dating, right? And again, this is a girl who's been single her entire adult life. So I would just really encourage you guys, because it's so exhausting to have all these expectations, and the expectations that you put on yourself, and probably the expectations that your family is putting on you. Take all that off and go live your life, okay? Because it can be so suffocating when you're dealing with all of this stuff, and then you're trying to, you know, date and put yourself out there, and half the time we don't really want to, right? So do what is best for you in the moment. But if you are looking to date, create the dating life that you want, okay? period, right? And I think that starts with your mindset. It starts with the mindset and how you look at things. So really assess how you're looking at dating, really assess how you're looking at, all of that. But I don't want to do too much talking about dating. Really want to get into the singleness journey because that's what this video is about. So that is pretty much my singleness journey, you guys. It seems short, but it was a lot, right? So that pretty much sums that up, I guess. As far as just like really being single, I really struggled with singleness, guys. I really did. Again, it was a mindset thing too, and how I looked at myself, but I just really craved having that intimacy with someone else so much that I was willing to really accept a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have. And so I had to, finally learn that I was really worth more than that. And that intimacy that I craved, I needed to give that to myself first. And it sounds so cliche. I used to hate when people told me that as a single person, right? Self-first and love. Listen, that ain't helping me at night when I'm cold and I need somebody to cuddle me, okay? But it's true, guys. I don't know. Once I really started giving myself everything that I wanted in another person, things really just changed for me, and it molded me. I began to glow differently. My confidence was different. It was boosted, and I felt really genuinely good about myself because I created that security for myself first, right? And then another person came in and just, complimented it even more. But I tell people all the time, whatever you're looking for in someone else, please create that within yourself first so that you have it, right? It's modeled for you, and then you know what it looks like for somebody else to do it, in a relationship. So all that self-love, self-care, the confidence, all of that, work on that. You're still going to be working on it even when you're in a relationship. So don't try to say you're going to just, I'm going to cure all of it and then get in a relationship. God can send your person like he did me, right smack dab in the middle of while you're trying to work out your abandonment issues and your daddy issues. So I'm just saying, focus, right, on yourself. I used to hate when people told me to do that too. Focus on yourself. It's true though. Focus on yourself and developing yourself in a healthy way, so that way when you are ready to put yourself out there, you can, right? But I really want to encourage you guys and let you guys know that you can thrive in your singleness and you can be completely happy there, right? Once I really started developing myself and really loving myself and giving myself the intimacy that I wanted with someone else, I began to thrive. My business began to thrive. My weight loss began to drop because I was just so in tune with myself. I was like, girl, yes, sitting on the couch watching Lifetime, eating popcorn, laughing with myself and enjoying those moments, right? Enjoying them. Taking myself to IHOP on a date or Red Lobster or wherever, right? Wherever you want to go. Enjoy those moments, right? They're very important to have. And I don't feel as if a lot of people know how to navigate singleness in a way that they can actually enjoy it, because you really can. And you can thrive here. You can thrive here in this moment, right? So, I had to really, and I'm looking at my notes, but I had to really learn to be okay with myself and fall in love with the process of being single, right? That part was killing me, right? Because I was looking around and I was like, oh, well, so-and-so has this and so-and-so has that. I used to say all the time, well, people would tell me, you got to be single and really, work through yourself. Basically what I'm telling you guys. But I would look at other people and say, well, they weren't single for, X amount of years and they haven't worked on themselves and they got a man and this and that. And it's like, that's not my story. And that is not what I need to be, comparing myself to. I really need to be focusing on what God has told me to do. And in that moment was work on myself and being content being single, and really loving myself, right? So that's what I'm gonna tell you guys. I know, trust me, I know. As a single person, I hate it when people tell me that. Look, tell me something else, right? Tell me something else that works, right? How do I navigate the lonely nights, right? Or how do I navigate when you are out with friends and, maybe guys are trying to talk to them and nobody's talking to you, right? And it triggers you thinking about your thoughts again and being single again. How do I navigate that, right? So I am going to provide you guys some tips on how, that helped me. How, these tips helped me through my singleness and, just really getting me through. But I would say the biggest key, guys, was falling in love with myself. That was the major key. And when you stop running from yourself, when you stop avoiding yourself and really take that time to invest in yourself, it's different. It hits different. So yeah. Let's get into the tips though. Water break. Oh, so another thing that I wanted to add, guys, this is my first relationship, my first ever relationship. And I think we need to normalize that being okay. Yeah, we need to normalize that being okay. If it is your first relationship, if it's your 15th relationship, everybody's journey is just so drastically different. And that was probably one of the major things that held me back and just made me very sad in my singleness, the fact that I hadn't been in a relationship. So I began to feel as if I was, something was wrong with me, right? I felt like, I don't know, is the barcode missing a couple of numbers? It won't scan, it won't work, it won't be taken off the shelf, why am I still here for so long? Why have I been here for so long? 27 years, or I don't know, whenever you want to count your adult life, or whenever you want to count when you start dating, right? I've been, single, not in that relationship at all. And so, it was also extremely terrifying telling my boyfriend that as well, because again, thought he would leave or have these certain thoughts or whatever the case is. But you just have to be okay with your journey and where you are in your journey, and know that God has placed you specifically there in your journey. And I think when I became okay with the fact that I've never been in a relationship, I had to accept that. I just did. I had to accept what God was doing in my life and what he was not allowing in my life to protect me. And so, yeah. So I just want to encourage you guys to be okay with whatever part you are in your journey. Whether you've never been in a relationship, whether you have, be okay with where you are in your singleness journey, and know that it's developing. And it's going to continue to develop even if you're in a relationship, right? You still develop yourself regardless. So why not practice that now, right? Singleness is probably one of the best gifts that could have been given to us, because it is the time where you are going to spend the most time with God. You're going to spend the most time with yourself. You really get to have that time to do what you need to do to make sure you're good. And I feel like people don't take advantage of that. People don't see the value in it, right? We're not taught the value in it anymore. But guys, it is extremely important to decorate your single life in a way that you enjoy, right? And I think that's the point that I got to. I said, I'm gonna decorate this life here, because this is where I am right now, right? And I can flourish here, I can flourish here. I don't have to wait for the relationship. I don't have to wait for the whatever. I don't have to wait. I can flourish right here, right now, in my 20s, making it work. So that's exactly what I did. I made it work. Your girl got a new wardrobe. She started working out, eating better, reading books, reading the Bible, whatever the case may be, right? It's selling in her career. It's selling in her business. I said, this is the time. I wasted enough time. Again, pity party, woe is me, no man gonna like me, whatever, right? I like me, and that's what matters, okay? I love me, and that's what matters. That's what matters, right? Because you don't get to escape you. And I feel like a lot of people don't want to be single because they want to escape themselves. You got to do the work. You got to do the work, right? In order to excel in that singleness, you got to do the work on yourself. And that truly is on Mary and that little lamb. Period. All right, guys, so that's a little bit of my single life and, you know, just how I went from basically 0 to 100. Okay, so let's dive into these tips. All right, so my first tip for you is basically to immerse yourself in meaningful activities, right? And enjoy them. Immerse yourself in meaningful activities and then actually enjoy them. Be in the present, right? Be in the present moment. So when I was single, I picked up my, I'm a dancer, been dancing since I was 3 years old. And so I picked up dancing again. Why not? I have the time, I have the space and opportunity. So I started going back to dance classes. I started, you know, training myself, all that kind of stuff, because that's what I love to do. But I know I love to do that because I spent time with myself to learn that I love to do it, right? So I picked that back up and I enjoy it. Granted, I haven't been back to a class yet. Girl, been busy. But point is, I picked it back up and I started doing it again because I love it, right? And it brought me so much joy and so much happiness. So find some meaningful activities that you love to do. And if you don't know, then you need to spend the time figuring out what you love to do. And then immerse yourself in those activities and enjoy it, right? Give back to yourself. This is the only time that you really have all this time to do that. So why not do it? Don't waste this time, guys. Just don't. So tip 2, and I wish somebody told me this, I really do, but recognize that every thought you have about yourself in your singleness is not necessarily true, right? Like I said, my mindset was terrible. I believed that no man would want a plus size woman, that no man really would want a black woman, a chocolate, you know, black woman. No man would want a woman who's waiting for marriage. No man would want a woman who's doing this. No man would want all this kind of stuff, right? That's not necessarily true, is it? Because your girl's taken now. And all those things I thought, he ain't got no problem with. So, and I'm just being honest, transparent, right? I'm just being honest. So you have to realize that everything you're telling yourself about your singleness and thinking about yourself isn't necessarily true. It's not necessarily true. And you might need to write them down to get them out of your head, and then write down the opposite, a positive affirmation or something, figure it out. But you need to be able to distinguish, like, okay, this is, you know, a thought I'm having, and then this is not necessarily true about my singleness, and this is not true about who I am as a single person, right? Because you're just a person that's single. Your singleness does not define you. It doesn't. No matter how long you're single, it doesn't define you. So, you know, really, because the mind is so powerful. Those thoughts are so powerful. And my believers, you already know the enemy don't want us really walking in our purpose and doing the things that we need to do. So you need to make sure that you are aware of your thoughts and what you're telling yourself, because, and what you're believing, because that is really, truly also going to define how you walk in your singleness and how you walk in your confidence and all that kind of stuff. So please Be aware of your thoughts. I wish someone would have told me that. I really do. So be aware of your thoughts and how you are thinking about yourself in this present moment. Child, look, all these tips, I wish someone would have told me. Okay, so my third tip to y'all is stop putting dating on a pedestal. Put yourself up there. And that's on period. I ain't even got to say nothing else. We can close the congregation right now. Stop putting dating on a pedestal. Stop. Stop it now. Now, today, right now. Stop. Okay? As a single person, you just can't, right? You can't. Our world is consumed with relationships and all that kind of stuff, and that's great. But as a single person, you really have to, you kind of guard yourself. You really do. So stop putting dating up there. Like, dating is the end all be all, and if you're not dating or if you're not with someone, then you not someone, right? Put yourself up there. And that's on period. Put yourself up there. Seriously though. Like, make yourself the priority. Make yourself the priority. And that's not to put yourself over God and do all that kind of stuff. I'm just saying, put yourself up there. Okay? You worrying about dating and this man and that man and doing this, and then he texts me back and he ghosted and calling and woo, all of that is a job. Look here, child. I ain't got time for that. I'm developing myself. I'm walking my purpose. I'm living my life, and I'm doing it confidently. Put yourself on the pedestal. Take dating off. Take marriage off. Take kids off. All of that, right? Because God's going to let it happen when it's supposed to be. And another thing that I hate when people would tell me that, but it's true. If we believe in Him, then we have to know that He has our best, right? And He has a plan in play. So all of that, worrying about that and putting that on top in the pedestal, girl, develop you and live your life. That's it. That's all I gotta say. Okay? So number 4 is something I really struggled with. I was thinking about a relationship all the time. I was thinking about a man all the time. Like, that's all I wanted. So my tip 4 for you, being single is a call to focus on yourself. And this is going to sound repetitive, but being single is a call to focus on yourself. Stop thinking about a relationship all the time. Stop thinking about a boy all the time. Stop thinking about... No. It's a time to focus on yourself, okay? I'm repeating because I need you to hear me, right? This is a time to focus on yourself. It is a call. So think about a calling, right? And think about singleness, right? If you're in singleness right now and you've been there for a while, think about it as a calling to focus on yourself, right? That mindset change, reframe how you think about it, okay? I'm called to focus on myself right now. God will give me another call when it's time to, whatever, X, Y, and Z, or you'll even be able to tell when it's time to put yourself out there again, right? But right now, we got to focus on you and getting you to a healthy space and place, right? That's the most important thing. Tip 5, and this is really great, but find your purpose. Find your why. Find your what wakes me up every day. And along with that focus on you, focus on your purpose and live it out confidently. Right? That's what we do here at Love Nell B. We focus on our purpose and we live it out with confidence, right? Because our purpose, it gives us a certain oomph, right? The reason why I walk around and I interact and I do the things I do, because I know my purpose. I know what I'm called to do, and that gives me my oomph and my confidence. And so as a single person, and I wish, y'all, I really do. I wish I walked in my purpose a little bit more as a single person. I just feel like I could have been further than where I am had I focused on my purpose a little bit more and developing my crafts and my confidence and, living it out. I could have been further, but that's neither here or there, right? I'm telling you, find your purpose and focus on it. Hone in on it. You got a whole bunch of gifts, girl. You got a whole bunch of stuff inside of you that needs you to pull yourself out, right? You got a whole bunch of stuff it's laying there, right? But you're so worried about being in a relationship, it's just gonna lay there. And then every person that needs what you have is gonna miss out. So take this time while you're single, you're called to being single. Find your purpose and then live it out. Live it out to the fullest. Develop every day. I challenge myself to either learn something new about myself every day or learn something new every day, right? So that way I'm developing, I'm growing, I'm learning, I'm excelling, right? How can I apply this to the brand? How can I apply this to, my 9 to 5? How can I apply this to myself in my friendships and in my relationships? How can I do, right? So take that time to figure it out, sis. Find your purpose and get to living, honey. Because it's more than dating. It's more than getting married. It's more than having kids. I know what society tells us, but there is a lot more. And relationships are great. They're great and they're needed, yes. But I want you to know that there is more outside of a relationship. And even if you got into a relationship, there's still things outside of it, right? You still need to be chasing your purpose. I look at singleness, especially if you're someone who does want a, relationship and marriage. I look at singleness as just like, not a practice. I guess it is a practice technically. It's something you do every day, because even when you get in a relationship, if you stop doing that practice, right? You put something on that relationship, right? Think about two people growing and they're excelling, right? And they're sharpening each other, right? But you can only do that if you sharpen yourself first. So you need to take the time to make sure that you are, developing yourself, developing your craft, developing whatever you have outside. And right now, it's very important. It's very important. And I can't harp on it enough. I'm not going to harp on it, but find your purpose and live it out. Period. And if you don't know, shameless plug, if you don't know your purpose or you have no vision or clarity, then you need to book a clarity call with me. Okay? www.lovenellb.com. Go there and book a clarity call with me so we can talk about your purpose. We can even talk about dating and getting you a clear vision on your dating. Go read my testimonials. It works. Why? Because I do the work. And I want to teach you how to do the work. Okay? Find your purpose, live it out. Period. All of these are going to, again, and I do apologize if they sound redundant, but they all feed into each other. So another thing I wish that I was kind of taught about singleness, just the importance of alone time, because when you're with someone else, you begin to kind of filter your life's decisions through that person, and in an unhealthy way, I will say. I know the times that I have been with guys, and this was when I really didn't know who I was. I just kind of molded into what they wanted me to be. And I just kind of became the woman that they wanted me to be. And kind of made decisions from that. Whereas if I had my own identity and my own, self and who I was, I think my decisions would be a lot different. And I don't think I would be with those people. So alone time is extremely important. And it's not a bad thing to, be alone in your singleness and like having that time to learn even how you make decisions. Knowing yourself, how do I go through the process of making a decision, right? How do I do this? How do I do that? You learn all of that when you're with yourself. There's no way to learn all of that when you have someone else, in your space all the time. It's a distraction if it's not your time, period. So alone time is very important, and learning how you, operate and move on your own, very important. And I think that's all I got to say about that. So, yeah. Number 7 is the one that single women probably hate hearing. But fall in love with the process of getting to know yourself. Fall in love with the process of developing yourself. Fall in love with the process of being single. It's not a bad word. It's not a bad thing. You can flourish here. You don't need anybody else or anything else to flourish. You can flourish here. So I like to tell a lot of women to think of themselves as a DIY project, right? You know, you have this person, you have yourself, and then you want to think about your goals and the things that you want to become or things that you want to do, right? How do we get there? And just begin to work on yourself. Chip away, add, mold, shape, all these different things. That's what I did, and I did mine, through therapy, having another person kind of guide me and bring my patterns to light. Oh, I noticed this pattern about myself. Okay, what do I need to do to stop that pattern if it's not helping me? For example, my anxiety. If y'all know, I have high functioning anxiety, period. And so my anxiety looks like I'm, again, functioning, but it's really a lot of overthinking, a lot of just anxiousness, right? So when I begin to kind of get in my mode, I'm so self-aware now to say, stop, you're in your mode. I think about why I'm in my mode, what triggered it. Okay, you need to do some deep breathing. Okay, you need to grab your journal. Okay, you need to sit on the floor and just take a moment with Jesus, right? Different things. But I know all of that because I made myself a project. And I chipped away, I added, I shaped, I molded, I did all of that stuff, right? So again, I fell in love with the process of developing myself. That's all it is to it. I fell in love with saying, wow, like I like looking back a year ago on my Snapchat and seeing who I was then and saying, wow, I probably wouldn't have done that now. Or I probably would have done it differently. Or I still probably would have done it. So being able to see yourself kind of develop, right? It's a beautiful thing. But you got to change your mindset about it. You got to really just fall in love with it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, y'all. The process of seeing yourself transition, right? 2 years ago, I probably would have never been on YouTube. A year ago, I probably would have never been on YouTube. But here I am, just comfortable in my element, in my environment, and I'm moving. But it's because I'm my first project, and I will always be. So this is the process of me being single all the way into my relationship now. And I am still developing myself. But now it just looks differently, right? So again, singleness is a practice. It's important because it doesn't stop, right? Singleness just changes its name and you add boyfriend, right? But we both still have our time where we are still developing ourselves, and you gotta still do that. So why not start in your singleness? So that is a practice. It's just like reading the Bible. It's a practice. It's a daily thing that you have to choose to do. And singleness is a choice as well, right? Or I should say, thriving in your singleness is a choice. It doesn't have to be a choice, but thriving in it is a choice. And ever since I made that decision, I have not regretted it. That ever since I decided to thrive in my singleness, whether I am dating or I'm truly just single, it was the best thing I could do. So I hope these tips helped you guys. I hope they weren't like, oh, girl, I've heard this before. I really didn't want to give you guys those type of tips because they are not helpful when you are single and you want to couple, right? Those times are hard too. You just kind of have to work through. But it's a lot of mindset change as well. So I really hope this helped. I really do, guys. I'm pouring this from my heart. So yeah. All right, guys. So that is it. That is my first Transparency Tuesday with Love Nell B. And I hope that it helped you guys so much. I have not decided the next topic. And I probably need to, so I can tell you guys the next topic. But if you have a topic that you want me to just be transparent about and lay it out, comment down below. If you want me to be a little bit more transparent and really dive into this thing, also comment down below. Hit that subscribe button because you know you like me and you know you like it here. Actually, you love it here. And hit that like button. And then, as always, tell a friend that Love Nell B is on YouTube. We're doing great things, okay? We are doing great things. So I am so happy to have you guys here along the journey. And yeah, just let me know if you like Transparency Tuesdays, guys. I actually like to really be talking about this with you guys. So I really hope something resonated. If it did, leave something down below. What resonated with you? Share this video. Tell a friend Love Nell B's on YouTube. So yeah, that's all. And that's all I got for y'all. But I love you guys so much, and thank you so much for joining me